Quick test, your last pay rise. What did you spend it on? Not roughly, specifically. Name the actual things. Go on, I'll wait. You can't, can you? Almost nobody can. And that should bother you far more than it does. Because that was real money. If you got a 2 grand rise, that's over £100 landing in your account every single month, this month included. It's there, it arrived. And yet you cannot point to a single thing in your life and say that's where it went. Your rent didn't change. Your commute didn't change. Your life, as far as you can tell, is the same life, but the money is gone. Every month on schedule, without a decision, without a receipt, without your permission. Last episode, I showed you who takes the first bite of every rise. Today, I'm showing you who quietly takes the rest. Here's the answer, and it's stranger than you think. You spent it. And this is the important bit, you never decided to. There was no moment, no purchase, no evening where you sat down and said, right, I earn more now, let's upgrade the life. The takeaway went from sometimes to Friday. The phone renewed itself onto the newer model because the monthly difference was only a tenner. The car came up for renewal, and the nice man pointed out that for just £40 more a month, you could have the better one. None of these were decisions. They were defaults. Each one arrived pre-approved, framed as a monthly number small enough to wave through. And it's not just the adverts doing it. It's the people around you. Get promoted, and your reference group quietly changes. New colleagues, nicer restaurants at lunch, a different assumption about what normal costs. You didn't choose new standards. You absorbed them, the way you absorb an accent. Nobody is immune to this. Not you, not me, not the smuggest person you know. And monthly numbers are the trick, because nobody ever feels the yearly total. Engineers have a word for what happens to a material under constant load over a long time. Not a sudden force, just steady pressure applied forever. It's called creep. The material slowly, permanently deforms, and by the time you can see the bend, it's been bending for years. That is what a salary does to a lifestyle, not one big purchase. Constant, gentle pressure and a shape you never chose. Now let me show you what it actually costs, because the monthly framing hides it, and I want you to see the real number. Now watch it vanish. The car upgrade takes 80, the bigger phone plan and the extra subscriptions take 40, the posher food shop takes 60. The lifestyle rounding error, the taxis, the slightly better everything takes the rest. Total decisions made, none. Total rise remaining, nothing. And here's the part that stings. That same 240 a month, invested and left alone at ordinary long-term market returns, is somewhere north of 40 grand in 10 years. That's the actual price tag, not 240 a month, 40 grand a decade. You are trading 40 grand for a set of upgrades so small you literally could not name them 30 seconds ago. And the system knows this. Every pricing page you've ever seen is built around it. Nobody sells you a £14,000 car finance commitment. They sell you 290 a month. Nobody sells you a £1,200 a year telly habit. They sell you 3 subscriptions at £9.99. The entire consumer economy is engineered to be absorbed into a pay rise without ever triggering the part of your brain that makes decisions. You're not weak, you're outnumbered. And there's one more property that makes this mechanism so effective. It's a ratchet. It only turns one way. Upgrading feels like nothing, but downgrading feels like failure, because losing something stings roughly twice as hard as gaining it ever felt good. So every notch the creep gains, it keeps, which means the game is not about clawing lifestyle back. It's about deciding in advance where the next notch goes. So what do? Here's what you don't do. You don't budget harder. You don't promise to be more disciplined. Discipline is you versus 1,000 automated systems that never get tired, and you will lose that fight every time because you're human and they're not. The only thing that beats automation is automation. And the good news is you've already seen this weapon work because it was used on you. When the government wanted the country to save into pensions, they didn't run adverts asking people to be sensible. They made it automatic, auto-enrollment. Money leaves before you see it, and participation went through the roof because defaults beat willpower every single time. So steal the mechanism. The move is called paying yourself first, and it works like this. Money that leaves your current account on payday before you can see it does not exist to be crept on. So you set up one standing order, dated the day after your salary lands, sending a fixed amount to an account you do not look at. An ISA, a savings pot, anywhere that isn't the account your card is attached to. The amount matters less than the automation. 50 quid is fine to start. What matters is that it happens without you, every month forever, exactly like the creep does, but in your favor. And then the crucial rule, the one that makes this an actual system rather than a gesture. Every future pay rise, half of it gets added to that standing order before the first new payslip arrives. Half is the deal. You still feel every rise, because half of it genuinely upgrades your life, deliberately, on purpose, guilt-free. But the other half is spoken for by future you, and the creep never gets a look at it. Decide the split once, automate it, and the fight is over before it starts. And if you're above the 40% line we talked about last episode, you can point your half of the rise at your pension instead, and have the taxman fund a chunk of it for you. Same principle, different door. Now the reframe, because I don't want you walking away from this feeling guilty about the takeaways. Lifestyle inflation is not greed, and it's not weakness. It's a default setting, and defaults are always chosen by whoever designs the system. All you're doing tonight is taking one default back. That's it. You're not becoming a monk. You're becoming the person who sets the settings. And honestly, that's the whole difference between the people money works for and the people money works on. Not income, settings. Pick a number that feels slightly too easy. £50, 30, whatever. The amount is not the point. The existence of the machine is the point. Because once it exists, every future rise has somewhere to go that isn't the creep. One standing order, 5 minutes. Episode 2 gave you the scoreboard. Episode 3 showed you the goalposts. This is the first time you actually move the ball. See you in the next one.